Okay, coming to you from Burlington, Vermont. Don't want to miss an opportunity to criticize our administration and its heavy-handed tactics, so I've asked Dan Fernandes to help me do just that from his home over there. And do you live in Glendora, Dan? Sorry.
No, I live in Laverne, California.
Laverne, okay, very close by there. Okay. Thanks for joining me. I want the theme tonight is the. By the way, you are the regional rep for the Libertarian Party there in Region 67, the East San Gabriel Valley, and he'll be having a meeting next Tuesday, 7:30 in Glendora Denny's. Just want to make sure we got some new people coming out there, so I want to keep the momentum going on that.
Yes, we had a good turnout last month.
Good. Yep. We're getting a lot of traction with libertarian ideas. So here we go again, talking about the car. We've talked about the because you and I are engineers, we like this subject, but there's a lot of banking and shenanigans going on along with the silly regulations. In this case, this first one is talking about the dealership closings that were ordered by Chrysler. We're not really sure where all these orders are coming from, but there's been a lot of backlash about which dealers are getting closed, why are profitable dealers getting
Chrysler
closed.
Chrysler is closing dealerships, but also GM is closing a number of several hundred also. Yeah,
and also same thing. Why are profitable dealerships getting? It seems to be a political. Though it's hard to identify the pattern. Maybe you have. Do you see a pattern in how they're ordering these closures?
No, I haven't got enough information to really determine what is the motivation behind these closures. It appears that it is a business decision that the executives of Chrysler and General Motors have made a decision to cull out their weaker dealerships and to put their more eggs in one basket, so to speak, with their stronger dealerships. But with the political influence that they have now, pressure upon them, it's suspicious that perhaps the process has been politicized.
Very suspicious. We guess we give them the benefit of the doubt as a business decision until we find out differently. But probably
one possibility is that they're punishing senators who would not vote their way by closing dealerships in their districts.
I know. I think they're looking for those patterns.
Might be a little cynical to think that, but just one suggested possibility.
Well, there certainly is, that could be going on too. And as we talked about in the past, FDR was definitely politicizing the process of the giant spending bills that they enacted in the 30s, and we expect to see a similar pattern here. Helping out the swing states, ignoring the red states, and ignoring the blue states if they have already got them in the bag. So we'll look for that.
Now there
pattern.
You go, being cynical again.
Well, I think we need to. If they're closing profitable dealerships, you got to be looking for another motivation. I don't know what it is, but probably worse is that this judge who ruled on that it was okay for Chrysler to terminate these 789 dealerships as a part of its restructuring, and authorizing the partnership with Fiat, was in approving that they also rejected the plea by the Indiana pension plans, which is kind of ironic. The government pension plans were essentially bondholders, secured bondholders in Chrysler that got put to the back of the line and only got 30 cents on the dollar on their investments, and the unions, the UAW, got put first, and they only lost maybe 13 cents on the dollar, and the stockholders lost maybe 25%. So they just reversed the order of the typical bankruptcy payout priority. So
well, yes, and those kinds of activities have a cost, because the bondholders now have been put on notice that their investment isn't as secured as the bond contract that they hold says it is, which has got to have an impact on basically the entire bond market.
Yeah, it's going to kill the capital risk that you thought you were insulating against by So all of a sudden the risk...
It's what's called the rule of law,
Yeah.
Joey. It's the rule of law. In other words, you think you have these rules and that they're independent of who you are and the situation, and then the government comes along and says, oh, that's not true anymore. We're changing the rules in the middle of the game. So that's pretty treacherous.
Very much so, yeah. It kills the typical capitalist, approach toward risky versus not risky investments or medium risk. It flips it on its head.
Well, it's the government's job basically to uphold the rule of law and to maintain order in a legal sense in the economy. And when they do things like that, they're violating their trust. They're doing the opposite of what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. They're just creating chaos there, and we're just going to just chill out investment across the board. I couldn't see another effect. And then they're insulated from those consequences because you can't prove a negative. Like, okay, how much investment was deterred? It's kind of hard to calculate that.
Well, I don't think it's even necessary to do that because simply you have to go on what's morally principled, and when the government violates moral principles like that, then it should be up for criticism.